Hi, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So now I'm going to tell you about Mann-Whitney U-test in non-parametric test. Okay, so now we'll see what is Mann-Whitney U-test. Okay, so this test enables us to compare the two independent samples by testing a hypothesis on the two population medians. Okay, so we are going to enable this test to in order to compare two independent samples, okay, on two population medians. Okay, so it is used to compare what? Two independent samples. Okay, yeah. Next, this non-parametric test for two independent samples was described by Wilcoxon. Okay, so two independent samples procedure was described by Wilcoxon and studied by Mann and Whitney, and later it was studied by Mann and Whitney. Okay, but first it was described by Wilcoxon and later it was studied by Mann and Whitney. Okay, these are the scientist names, Mann and Whitney. Okay, and the next, it is the most widely used test as an alternative to test the t-test. Okay, so this Mann-Whitney U-test is used instead of t-test. Why we have to use instead of t-test? In the sense t-test is there, no? Then why to go for Mann-Whitney U-test? In the sense, see here, t-test for two independent samples when do not make the t-test assumptions. Okay, now why? Because in t-test one of the most assumption is, that means only t-test is applicable for uh, the variables which are in continuous. But if the variables are in discrete, this t-test is not used. So at that time, Mann-Whitney U-test is used, okay, in order to compare the independent samples, okay, population medians. Okay, now this is the procedure. So till here we have learned what is Mann-Whitney U-test, who described it, why we have to use, like that we have learned till here. Okay, now we are going to learn the procedure. Okay, yeah, see, let x1, x2 and so on, xn1 and y2, y1, y2 and so on, yn2 be independent random samples of size n1 and n2. Why? Because we took two samples, in the sense we told before itself, no, it is used to test two independent samples. So that's why we have taken here two independent samples with names x1 and y1. Okay, so x variables and y variables, okay, with size n1 and n2 from two populations with probability density functions. Why we are using here probability density function? In the sense, here we are going to use continuous series. So that's why we are using probability density functions. If it is not continuous, we may use their probability mass function. And the notation may be p of x. But here we are going to use continuous variables. So that's why here we used probability density functions. Its notation is f1 of x, or else we can also write instead of f1 of x, we can also write here capital Fx. Okay, capital Fx also we can write its notation. Instead of this, we can also write this one. And f2 of y, we can write here capital Fy. So we can write anything, f2 of y or capital Fy respectively. Okay, so this is about the notation. Till now we have what are the variables, what is the sample size, what its probability density function. So like that we have declared till here. Now we'll see for what we are going to use this test. Okay, so we want to test if the samples have been drawn from the same sample. So here what we want to test is whether the taken samples are from same populations or they are from different population. We are going to test it. Okay, so here we can use f1 of x equals to f2 of x, or else we can also use here fx of x equals to fy of x. We can use like this also. Okay, so next is the Mann-Whitney U-test uses the sum of ranks or rank sum of each sample. So in order to test this one, in order to test fx of x equals to fy of x, we have to use some technique. So Mann-Whitney U-test procedure uses the technique sum of ranks or rank sum. So this technique he used in order to assume this one, in order to prove this one, okay, in order to test this one. Okay, so which technique he used? Sum of ranks, or else we can also call it as rank sum. Okay, so that test he uses. Okay, so now we'll see what is this procedure, what is this technique, sum of ranks in the sense what, we'll see now. Okay, yeah, see, procedure for sum of ranks. Okay, so to assign ranks to each observation of the two samples, first we have to take two samples now. Why? Because here we have declared two samples. Here we have declared two samples. That means we are going to take two samples observations, isn't it? Okay. So after taking two samples observations, what we have to do is we combine the two samples into a single sample. So after taking two samples, what we have to do is we have to combine those two samples. Okay. How to combine in the sense, we'll see. For example, wait. One second, I'm going to take rough paper. Yeah, see. See here, two observations. This is first sample observation. We'll see some observations we are having now, and this is second sample observations we are thinking. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to combine the two samples. Okay, that means what, these two observations, what we have to do, we have to combine into a single sample. Okay, these two individual observations we have to combine into a single sample observations. Okay, so after combining, what we have to do is we have to arrange them in an ascending order. Okay, now for example, here we see x equals to 6, 5, 10. Okay, y equals to 2, 3, 8. So like this, the two samples are there. So now we are going to combine this one. Okay, so what we are going to do is, now we are going to arrange them in ascending order. That means first 2 will come, next 3 will come, next 5 will come, next 6 will come, next 8 will come, next 10 will come. Okay, so like this we have arranged the data. So after arranging the data, then ranks are assigned to the combined series data. That means ranks should be assigned for this combined, not for these individuals. Okay, why? Because here we have combined. So how to assign the ranks in the sense, for example, here we are having 10th rank. So this is first rank. Next, in order, what is there? This 8th is there. So second rank. This is third rank. And this is fourth rank, this is fifth rank, this is sixth rank. For example, another 2 is there. If we are having another 2, so what we have to do, we have to give 6th rank for this observation or this observation. So at that time, what we have to do is, here 6th rank we have to think, and here 7th rank we have to think. So at that time we have to find out the mean. 6 plus 7 by 2, that equals to how much? 6 plus 6, 12, 13 by 2. So 13 by 2 is nothing but 6.5. So that means for this 2 we have to assign 6.5. For this 2 also we have to assign 6.5. So like that we have to assign ranks for the observations. Okay. So after giving the ranks, so next what we have to do is we have to define the following. We have to find out. Okay, by using the following formulas, ux and uy we have to find out by using these formulas. Okay, so ux equals to tx minus n1 into n1 plus 1 by 2. Uy equals to ty minus n2 into n2 plus 1 by 2. So where tx in the sense what? Sum of ranks of the observations in x samples. So what is this meaning? So here you see 2 belongs to what? Y. Here 2 belongs to y sample and 3 belongs to y sample. 8 belongs to y sample. That means regarding y sample we are having only 3 ranks. That means ty value is 3 here. Next tx in the sense 5 belongs to x, 6 belongs to x and 10 also belongs to x. That means how many we are having? So tx values also 3 we are having. So like that we have to find out. Okay, next n1, n2 are the sample sizes. Okay, now so that means in first sample how many observations we are having, that is sample size. In second sample how many observations we are having, that is sample size for second one. Okay, so like that you will find ux and uy. So after finding ux and uy, you have to find out u value. So u equals to minimum of ux and uy. Okay, so we have to find out. So till here we completed. Okay, and also always the following equalities always satisfies. Okay, na? So it should satisfy always. It should satisfy. What is that one? Ux plus uy equals to n1 n2. Okay, next is tx plus ty equals to n1 plus n2 into n1 plus n2 minus 1 by 2. So it should satisfy the following conditions always. Okay, so this is about the procedure of Mann-Whitney U-test. Okay, in order to use Mann-Whitney U-test, Mann-Whitney U-test follows what? He follows one technique, that is rank sum of ranks technique. So in order to get sum of ranks technique, so this is the procedure. Okay, so now what we have to do is and after giving the observations, we have to check whether the given observations belongs to small sample or large sample. So small sample in the sense what? N1 less than 10, N2 also less than 10. If both are less than 10 only, it comes to small sample. Otherwise, it belongs to large sample. So large sample in the sense you all know that follows normal distribution. Okay, so the procedure for single sample Mann-Whitney U-test is here n1 n2 value should be less than 10 only. Okay, so procedure is first we have to set up hypothesis. So what the hypothesis here? Null and alternative, isn't it? So null hypothesis we have to take that neta equals to neta 0. Here neta, instead of neta we can also take mu equals to mu 0, or else we can take that m equals to m0. So you can give any notations here. That means median we are going to test now, so that's why here we can use any notation. Okay, so here we took equal now, so in alternate we automatically take that not equals to, isn't it? Yeah. So after setting the hypothesis, we have to compute ux and uy values. Okay, so ux and uy values, how we'll compute? By using this ux formula and uy formula, we'll compute ux and uy. So after that, test statistic u in the sense what? U equals to minimum of ux comma uy. So after finding this u value, so we have to see whether calculated value, that means whether what we calculated u value is less than or equals to critical value of u. Critical value in the sense nothing but table value at a given level of significance. We have to test, that is nothing but u less than or equals to tc. Tc in the sense what? Table value. Okay, so table value, critical value. Okay, so if u less than or equals to tc, if this condition is satisfied, so at that time what we have to do is we have to reject h naught. That means we have to reject null hypothesis. Otherwise we have to accept null hypothesis. Okay, so this is about what? Small sample. Okay, this is about small sample. So now we will see about large sample. Large sample in the sense you all know that here n less than 10 means here what we have to take? N greater than or equals to 10 we have to take, and n2 also greater than or equals to 10. So large sample in the sense which distribution it follows? Z, normal distribution. Normal distribution is denoted with what? Z. Okay, na? So same procedure. First we have to set up hypothesis, null hypothesis, alternative. So null hypothesis in the sense what? Neta equals to neta 0, and alternate neta not equals to neta 0. Okay, so after that compute ux uy. So you all know how to compute ux and uy. By using these formulas you can compute ux and uy. Okay, next test statistics. That means here u follows what? Normal distribution. Why? Because here it belongs to last sample, no? So last sample always follows normal distribution. So z equals to u minus mu u by standard deviation of u. That follows normal distribution with mean 0 and variance 1. We read them as, and normal distribution follows with mean 0 and variance 1. Okay, we read like this notation. Okay, now we'll see what is mu u, what is standard deviation of u formulas. Okay, so where u equals to minimum of ux uy we all know. Okay, so mu u equals to n1 n2 by 2. Standard deviation of u equals to root of n1 n2 into n1 plus n2 plus 1 by 12. So these are the formulas. So after getting these values, so finally we have to substitute in this formula. So after that we will get z value. Next we have to write the conclusion. If calculated value of z greater than critical value of z, critical value is nothing but table value, at a given level of significance, we reject null hypothesis. Otherwise we accept null hypothesis. So this is about the conclusion. Hope you all understand. Okay, if anyone are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe my channel, share with your friends, and also don't forget to like this video. Okay, thank you, have a nice day. So this is about Mann-Whitney U-test. Sometimes it is also called as Wilcoxon Mann-Whitney U-test. Hope you all understand. Bye, take care.